Voice of Alaska.
Ahead on Frontiers, some serious food for thought. The problem isn't the quality.
Very flavorful, really tender.
It's the quantity.
I think I had 38,000 pounds of tomatoes that year, and everybody wanted them.
The potential for growth is just incredible.
Coming up, Feeding Alaska. What will it take to cultivate change?
Sponsorship for Frontiers with Rhonda McBride is provided by your local Alaska Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Alaska, where there are old triumphs, but also new frontiers. With challenges as great as the state itself, but a belief the best is yet to come. Bringing you the faces, the places, and the spirit of the last frontier. This is Frontiers with Rhonda McBride.
Welcome to our program. Agriculture is a frontier Alaskans return to again and again as they test new solutions to old problems, sometimes just to prove people wrong when they say it can't be done. A state-run meat plant in Palmer has not reached that point. After more than 3 decades, it still struggles to break even, but perhaps its time has finally come. Much has been made about the size of our vegetables, but in comparison, farming has always been a small part of our economy. Alaska agriculture was the big experiment of the 1930s when Minnesota farmers were transplanted to the Matanuska Valley. But no one ever dreamed these farms would become obsolete. The advent of modern transportation networks made it much cheaper to import food. So today, 95% of the food we eat comes from out of state. Here at Mount McKinley Meat and Sausage, they hope to change this.
It's very unique. There's no other facility like it in Alaska.
This is the only commercial meat plant in Alaska that's open year-round. The others shut down in the fall.
When hunting season occurs, they shut down on the processing of livestock and move into processing wild game. And wild game and livestock, you can't cross them up. They've got to do one or the other.
The state owns this plant, which for years has been on the chopping block. State legislators have wanted to close it to save money. That's why farmers have been reluctant to expand their herds. If there were no place in Alaska to butcher their cows in the fall, when they're nice and fat, they would have no way to sell their product.
The only way you can have access to that market is if you have a USDA stamp on your product. And this facility is the only year-round facility that can provide that stamp for you. So the threat of its closure, it sure makes people panic.
The state is expected to close a deal soon with a buyer for the plant. The vision, once it's in private hands, operations will grow.
Opportunity knocks in the strangest places.
Shannon Mobley has worked his way up from a prison trainee to a manager. He still has time to serve and wears an ankle monitor, but it allows him to work here and go home.
Those they'll buy, these they'll buy.
Mobley is passionate about training other inmates because he believes Alaska-grown meat has a future they can be part of.
Right now we're importing everything from the lower 48. That makes no sense to me. Why not keep the money here?
Alaska imports a whopping 80 million pounds of meat a year. In comparison, it produces only about 500,000 pounds. A number this new butcher store in South Anchorage believes it can definitely improve upon.
Where is it grown?
Leslie Ann Schweiger comes all the way from the other side of town to shop because she worries about preservatives that might be used to ship meat from the lower 48.
If it's grown here locally, then it can't get any fresher than that.
This thing's going to be like very flavorful, really tender.
Mike Biswell says customers want more than just the meat. They want to know everything about it.
This is our Alaska-grown beef tenderloins that are frozen. I know exactly what this cow was fed. I know the farmer that raised it, and I know what's in the meat.
Based on the first few months of business, Alaskans seem to be ready to pay more. Not for prosciutto di Parma from the Parma region of Italy, famous for their ham, but instead Alaskan prosciutto di Palmer.
If nothing else, it's peace of mind. You know that what your food ate was all natural, and that's what you're eating.
Thanks to the farm-to-table movement, Alaska agriculture may yet see a second wind.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Negotiations with Mike's Quality Meats to buy the plant are still underway. The inmate training program is expected to continue under new ownership. Up next, yak is one of the meats processed at the McKinley meat plant.
So Drifter is a steer. He's a small yak. He's kind of a runt.
These hairy Himalayan cattle make their home at a Glen Allen ranch. Why the demand for yak far exceeds the supply.
Spring has finally sprung.
Hurry up, let's go.
Time to get busy, get doing.
Dad, can I use this one?
Time for a new RAV4. The 2017 RAV4, the right choice for any adventure. Now with Toyota Safety Sense. Get yours today with these limited time savings.
Dad, I think I got one.
The Toyota Spring event is going on now. See your Alaska Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
I just want cremation.
Cremation specialists in Alaska.
Can I have a service before cremation?
Our staff is committed to serving your needs.
I just want something basic. The simpler, the better.
Specializing in simple cremations. Whatever your reasons are for choosing cremation, call Cremation Society of Alaska, 277-2777, or in the Valley, 373-8627, and on the web at alaskacremation.com.
Somewhere in Alaska's wild, Allie Zirkle is leading the way toward ending domestic violence affecting Alaska's kids.
These kids are heroes. They're trying to improve themselves so they can go back and improve their communities.
Today, Allie and Lead On are helping to make that possible. Help end domestic violence, spread respect, build friendships, and strengthen communities. Visit andvsa.org.
Everyone can make a difference.
What is health? It's more than a number on the scale. It's in the water we drink and the air we breathe. It's reflected in our jobs, our climate, and our community. Our health is holistic. Our health care should be the same. At ANTHC, we're providing clean water and sanitation around the state. We're working in partnership to make homes safer, healthcare treatment smarter, and fulfill our vision that Alaska Native people are the healthiest people in the world.
Here in Alaska, you can find reindeer dogs and elk burgers at local restaurants, but thanks to a couple in Glen Allen, there's a new meat on the menu. KTVA's Heather Hinsey takes us to the Circle F Ranch, home to a happy herd of yaks.
Mamas! Come on, mamas!
Hand-raised yaks, not in the Himalayas.
Come on, mamas!
But the heart of Alaska.
Trina!
Barbara Fithian knows almost every animal at the Circle F Ranch by name.
This is Trina and Trina's baby. His name is Dante. Wobegon gets fed with a bottle because his mom didn't have enough milk.
Check on Trina and the baby.
She and her husband Bobby are hunting guides who wanted to find a sustainable use for their land outside Glen Allen.
So Drifter is a steer. He's a small yak. He's kind of a runt.
Hours of research led them to yaks.
Trained to pack and to ride.
The animals eat a third less than cattle and can tolerate the blistering cold of an interior winter. They say it's also one of the healthiest red meats in the world. Barbara said it just seemed to make sense as more people push for farm-to-table food.
More than just eating local, they want to eat something that they know has had a good life.
Yaks are a new industry in Alaska. The Circle F Ranch is now up to 100 head.
Good boy.
And there are only about 300 yaks in the state altogether.
The problem is once you go yak, you never go back, but there's never enough yak.
The males go to market when they're 2 years old. The females stay as breeding animals.
Ribeyes.
The Fithians keep a freezer full in their gift shop. And despite a higher price, can barely keep it in stock.
We knew that the meat was going to be pretty fantastic and sought after, but we had no idea that the demand was going to be what it is. We literally are sold out of any meat that we can produce for the next 2 or 3 years, easy.
Most of the meat ends up on grills at David McCarthy's restaurants. The chef turned restaurateur owns 4 eateries in Denali and opened the new 49th State Brewing Company in Anchorage, where yak is featured in several ways on the menu.
And I'm happy to serve it here in Anchorage, and I hope people enjoy it. And I think it's important that they understand where their food comes from.
He says the protein is perfect for people who want to try something out of the ordinary.
This is the heart, and this is actually yak tail.
And he plans to put the whole animal to good use.
This coming fall, to actually make a version of ossobuco out of yak. So we're basically taking these traditional dishes and substituting something that's been raised here in Alaska.
Locally raised food comes at a cost. The 49th State Yak Burger is $25. For local diners like Lane and Shannon Millette, who ordered the yak quesadilla, it's worth it.
That's the price you got to pay for good food close to home.
And yes, it is more expensive, but the reality is that the quality is there, and they have to understand that money goes full circle in our state, which is really the ultimate benefit of why we serve that yak meat.
How are you doing, old woman? Huh?
Back at the ranch,
So good, Mama.
Barbara and Bobby say raising yaks isn't just a way to make a living.
That's an amazing experience to be able to share this ranch with animals and grandchildren.
It's about a better life for their family and these bushy brutes.
It's hard to not love a yak when they catch your heart and they hold on.
For Frontiers, I'm Heather Hinsey in Glen Allen.
Well, coming up, the next time you buy those homegrown hothouse tomatoes and cucumbers at the store, some food for thought. When it comes to what you can and can't grow in Alaska, the owner of Bell's Nursery loves to prove people wrong.
Hey, I'm Brian Gurry. I want the best for my home, and you want the best for your home. So if you need replacement windows, don't choose your window company until you hear this. I'm talking with Carl Isaacs of Renewal by Anderson. Carl, how do you go about picking the right replacement window?
Well, our customers really consider 3 things. First is trust. They trust us because they trust the Anderson name, and they know that we're the window replacement division of Anderson. Second is peace of mind. Our customers know that we're going to handle the entire project for them. And third is our material. Our composite material is quite simply a far superior window material.
Carl, that's awesome. Tell us how your Fibrix material is different than other window materials.
Well, there are a lot of vinyl window companies out there today, but vinyl was a solution that was established in the 1950s, and today there are much stronger and better solutions, like our Fibrix composite material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl.
So Carl, what are some of the benefits of a stronger window?
Less rigid materials like vinyl are more susceptible to warping due to the extreme hot and cold temperature changes of the seasons. Now that warping can lead to drafty windows or hot and cold rooms depending on the time of year. Our composite material, Fibrix, is 2 times stronger than vinyl, and it's warranted not to warp. And that means it's going to help to keep your home comfortable in every season.
And you don't just let anyone install your windows, do you?
Absolutely not. We are very selective when it comes to our installers. We get a complete background check on every installer before they come to your home. Because our guys have many, many years of experience, we're able to warrant not only the windows, but the installation too.
That's great, Carl, thanks. For a very limited time, Renewal by Anderson has a special offer for local homeowners.
Save 20% on windows, 20% on patio doors, and 20% on installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. We serve the Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage, and the Valley. Call for your free window diagnosis, 907-341-4414.
Many of the creative solutions to the challenges of growing food in Alaska are exciting. But some numbers to put things in perspective. We spend about $2 billion on food imported from the lower 48, money that leaves our state. We import about 95% of what we eat. Also of note, many Alaskans depend on wild foods like fish and game. Subsistence is the main source of local food for about 80% of rural Alaska, 10% for urban communities. And it is hard to put a price tag on the cultural value of these foods, but the economic value is estimated at about $900 million. Well, food is the one thing that connects us as Alaskans. We all have to eat at one time or another, and we've probably eaten a tomato or cucumber from Bell's Nursery. It's probably due to a certain degree of stubbornness on the part of Mike Musession, who joins us now. Now, in the early 1970s, you began your greenhouse empire. So tell us a little bit first about your background in agriculture before we get to that story.
My background was exclusively in grape growing. My father and I, we farmed 1,000 acres of table and wine grapes in the San Joaquin Valley. And I married a young lady that came to Alaska in 1956 with her father, who worked for a Union Oil Company. And I came up here to go skiing, and I liked to cook, and I went to the grocery store in February, and I couldn't believe how horrible the tomatoes were, and they were terribly expensive.
Well, one thing, before we get to your tomato growing story, I do want to point out why we have this Sun-Made raisin box here.
Well, yes, my great-grandfather started Sun-Made raisins in 1923, and the co-op, and that girl on the logo is his daughter, which would be my great-aunt.
So now you know the story. You know that that's a real person, and she's absolutely lovely.
And I'm the fourth generation Musession growing grapes in the United States.
So back to the tomatoes. So you decide that the tomatoes are not fit to be consumed. So what did you do?
Well, I had just heard about growing tomatoes hydroponically before I came to Alaska, and they were being grown in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I went there to interview the gentleman that was growing them, and I looked in the almanac, and the temperature in Minneapolis in January was 12 and Anchorage was 13. I says, aha, it's warmer. But I knew nothing about light levels, having coming from San Joaquin Valley of California every day. The sun shines and it's lovely and warm. I was very naive, so I had tremendous hurdles to overcome to succeed, and I had to succeed because I couldn't go back.
A lot of people probably thought you were nuts.
They did. The banks were really recalcitrant about loaning me money. They thought it was a foolish endeavor because there had been somebody else previously who tried to do it and failed and stuck the bank with a lot of money. But I was persistent and stubborn, and I hung around, and they finally loaned the money to get rid of me, and the rest is history.
So now, how many acres do you have of tomatoes, roughly?
I have about an acre of tomatoes and a half an acre of cucumbers.
Now, we visited your greenhouse, and boy, it was so nice and warm in there, and so many tomatoes.
Yes.
They're green right now.
We have thousands of tomato plants, and they were seeded in January, and they should be ripe in about 2 weeks. They just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And soon they will turn from green to cream and pink and red. And we only pick them when they're red ripe. That way they have the true flavor of a garden tomato.
In the lower 48, they often ship them, they pick them very early, and then I guess they're gassed to ripen?
Yes, a tomato is fragile when it's ripe. So they have to pick them when they're green. Or maybe they pick them when they just see that first tinge of color from green to cream, and they'll pick them, and they may sit in the warehouse for a week, and then it takes 5 days to get up here. So they're pretty old, and the way they make them turn red is they gas them with ethylene gas, the same thing they do to green bananas. It makes them turn red right away, and a banana will turn yellow. But you sacrifice flavor.
So what about the cucumbers that you're raising? I mean, those look ready to eat. In fact, we have some right here.
Yes.
When did you decide to add cucumbers to your crops?
About 25 years ago, we've been growing cucumbers, and they're a big hit because they don't store so well, and when they hit the markets here in Anchorage, there's a lot of loss to the retailers. And they love our cucumbers because they place an order. I said, okay, you have to wait till we pick them and wrap them. So there are sometimes they're hours old. Like these cucumbers, they're not even 24 hours old that were sitting on the table right
And they're
here.
just beautiful, perfect.
Yes, and they have wonderful flavor.
So do you think that there is more room for growth, more crops, more things that can be grown locally?
It is a big challenge. Number one, you have to know what you're doing to succeed, because you spend a lot of money, if you're going to use a greenhouse, a lot of money in the structure and the equipment, and just getting the crop to market in utilities, heating and cooling. So you have to do your homework, and you have to know what you're doing, because you can fail very easily.
Now, a lot of farmers have complained that they don't get much cooperation from the retailers. You agree?
That's true. You have to establish a relationship with your retailer, because without them, you can't move your crop. And I have been very fortunate in that in the last 45 years, they trust me, and most of all, the public trusts me, because they're the ones that decide whether or not my product is good or not. And because of they desire to purchase it and eat it, that tells the retailer we must carry this product. So you must produce a quality product.
Let's go back to when this whole thing started with your family. We have some photographs of a young Mike Macession with his kids out there. What was that like doing this? I mean, what did it take?
It was a struggle, working in the cold and below zero. It was a big effort.
But did you enjoy it in some ways, the challenge?
I didn't think about enjoying it. I just had to get the job done. You know, I was working 7 days a week, and it didn't occur to me that there was any pleasure in it. I just had to get the job done.
Now, one of the
things to succeed, I had to succeed.
That was interesting is, you know, when those photos were taken, the headline in the news was "Grape Grower Grows Tomatoes." And recently there was an article that the tomato grower is growing grapes.
Well, that's true.
And we have some photos or video of the actual vines in your greenhouses.
That's true. I was educated. I went to school to learn how to grow grapes and nothing else. I knew nothing about growing tomatoes or cucumbers when I came up, or flowers. I didn't know pansy from petunia, but I had to read about it and learn about it, and now I'm an expert in all those fields. But I've always grown grapes. I grew table grapes in the early 70s in the greenhouses, and they grew very well. In the last 4 or 5 years, I decided that, well, I might as well grow wine grapes, because people are making wine out of concentrate, and I might as well make the real thing.
And we actually have a bottle of wine that we uncorked.
This is a bottle, this is a bottle of Pinot Gris that was harvested in 2015, and we've sampled it, and it has wonderful flavor.
Can you pour a little bit of it?
Yes.
So we can see what it looks like.
It's a dry white wine. I ferment my wines to complete dryness. In other words, there's no sugar left in them, and they're not sweet, they're dry.
I can smell it, it's very fragrant.
Yes, it has a sort of a citrus aroma to it.
So do you think you can make a profit out of this, or is this just you trying to prove a point?
Both, but I think I can make a profit too, because I know what I'm doing. I know how to grow grapes, and I know how to double crop in the vineyard to make a profit.
Do you think that as far as agriculture in Alaska, that the sky is the limit in a lot of ways, that all we have to do is use our imagination?
Well, that's true. For example, we're the only state in America that does not have a winery, and that's because, a grape winery, that's because it's too cold in the summer to ripen grapes. So you have to put the grapes in a hothouse. Now, there are varieties that'll take 30 below, but they still won't ripen because the season is too short and and too cool.
Well, I guess if there is going to be someone that has the first winery in Alaska from Alaska-grown grapes, it'll probably be you. Thanks very much, Mike Concession, for joining us. Well,
thank you.
From tomatoes in Anchorage to eggs in Old Harbor, a community of 200 that hugs the southeast corner of Kodiak Island, where there are many good reasons to cultivate change. Island life means isolation. No roads to bring you in or out of Old Harbor. So most groceries arrive by airplane, weather permitting.
Hi, babies! Come on, step back. Step back.
These chickens belong to the Old Harbor tribe.
We're getting about 40 eggs a day right now.
Sometimes more. The hens weren't happy when a sudden snowstorm swept through, but the snow melted in a day.
We're looking at it as a way to supplement our subsistence way of life.
That's all one day.
And create jobs.
Hard work pays off, and hard work will keep you out of trouble.
It's just kind of hard to get a job around here.
But the egg business just might hatch a few and save this town of 200 a lot of money. Steve Inga's little boy Silas likes to follow his dad around. He's pioneering a business Old Harbor has never seen before.
Just let them sit in the water for a little bit.
They are washed and scrubbed in soapy water.
I usually try to get all that stuff off
before the tribe puts them up for sale in their store. Reasonably priced when you compare what it costs to ship them from the city.
They are $3.47 a dozen. And when we order them from Kodiak, they're usually $5 to $6 a dozen.
So brace yourself for some Old Harbor sticker shock, like cereal at $10.69 a box. For Al Craddy, every little bit helps.
There, they've got lots of them.
Eggs, he says, that are not only cheaper but taste better.
And they're good for you. They're fresh. And a lot of the times, if you buy your fresh produce in town, you get stuck there, it goes bad on you.
The tribe also hopes to raise these seedlings this summer with help from the sea, with soil created from algae, which makes pretty good dirt once the rain and snow wash the salt away. So who knows? One day these airplanes may do more than just fly food in. The Old Harbor Farm Projects are part of a federal program run by the Administration for Native Americans. It also includes 3 other communities on Kodiak Island, Larsen Bay, Uzinki, and Port Lions. Each village will be tracked for 3 years and must develop a long-term business plan. Well, if you want to know more about Alaska-grown food, KTVA has a regular feature called Harvesting Alaska that airs on Sunday's news. In fact, it's up for a James Beard Foundation Award to be announced in New York this Tuesday. 2 other nominees in that category are ABC Chicago and CBS This Morning Saturday. So we're in good company, and we'll keep you posted on what happens. Thank you for joining us, and we leave you now with scenes of Kodiak Island put to the music of Al Koenig, an Eagle River guitarist. This is from his album Sundog. See you next week.
Our providers. We are artists. We are many things, but drugs do not define us. It's a fact. 85% of Alaska Native and American Indian people don't use illegal drugs. For more resources on building a healthy life, visit anthc.org/weare.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve part-time in your community. While